Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us once again. And so in today's video, I'm focusing once again on part 2 of the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you haven't watched the first video, I highly encourage you to watch it. It's gonna be, the link for the video will be down below. Check it out. And so basically what that is a review of the 4 different ways of making money. So in today's video, I'm gonna be focusing on what the rich people focus on versus what poor people focus on based on this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So here we go. Stay tuned for that.
How does a guy like me, a little kid with no money, and it wasn't I was poor, we're very middle class, you know. I think my father was making about $20,000 a year. And when I graduated from school, from college, I was making $120,000 a year. 6 times the amount he made. And I was 21 years old.
All right, everyone. So in last week's video, I talked about the 4 different ways that an individual makes money. 5 takeaways that I got from the book. This is what I like to focus on because they are powerful. Number 1, rich people buy assets. Poor people think liabilities and they buy liabilities and then they think that they're assets. So a perfect example of that will be buying a house, right? If you are someone that has a business or an investor, obviously you have a roof where you live. You buy a house, but you don't consider that as part of your asset in your asset column. You would put your house in a liability column. Oftentimes, a lot of times, when you go to a financial advisor or you have a family who has a house, they have a job, and they have a house, right? They think that for whatever reason, the house is an asset. So your financial advisor will tell you, this is part of your asset. What's your net worth? Your house, they put that as part of your net worth. However, in this book, Robert likes to describe a house being a liability. And that is what a lot of rich people do, right? You have Jeff Bezos, all these billionaires, all these millionaires, all these zillionaires, they put their houses on the liability column, not so much on the asset column. An asset will be something that produces cash flow, money, making money. So that is one of the key takeaways that I got. The second one is the power of corporations. The power of corporations gives the rich a lot of breaks when it comes to taxes. And in today's society, we really cannot understand, for whatever reason, why is it that when the government is saying you got to pay your fair share, when you have someone like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, right, mega billionaires, and the government trying to take away from them so that they can give it to the poor. This is almost like a Robin Hood story, right? Most of you know the Robin Hood story, which is, he goes and steals from the rich and then gives it to the poor. So that is almost what we're seeing in today's era, where the government is trying to take away from the rich in order to give it to society. So the power of corporations allows a company to pay as little taxes as possible. So when you're working, you go get a job, you get paid. You pay anywhere from 30 to 35 to maybe 40% of your money goes to taxes. And corporations, and it's written by the IRS, right? You don't pay that much taxes. Actually, some of the expenses that you have as a business, those can be written off, and the government pays you for you to make that expense, which is why there was a lot of individuals who were mad back in 2016, 2018, when they were demanding that Donald Trump, the president back at that time, show his taxes. But really, in reality, corporations have the ability to evade as much taxes as possible, which is why you see corporations grow to the extent that they do. So the rich understand how this game is played. The poor person, and when I say poor, I'm talking about not just financially poor, because a lot of people are poor, but they are very rich in the mind. Okay, I'm talking about the poor that have a really poor mindset, and everything is somebody else's fault. Everything is his fault. It's her fault, right? Why is that happening to us? Well, it's because of them. That is a very poor mindset. So that's the kind of individuals that I'm talking about, which in return allows them to have the type of lifestyle that they carry. Because again, financially poor does not mean always poor. You could be financially poor, but fulfill to the point that some mega billionaires cannot even get to. So those individuals, even though they're financially poor, they are fulfilled. And that is a successful person. Why? Because they understand in their mind that fulfillment, it's one of the greatest achievements. So that is another takeaway that we got. The other one is number 3, right? It's don't focus on income. Focus on your assets. The rich dad will always tell, the poor dad that is actually will always tell Robert when he was growing up, study hard, work hard, and work for a great company. When on the other side, poor dad will always say, study hard, buy the great companies, meaning go buy some assets. So poor dad, work hard and go work for a great company. Rich dad, work hard, buy the great companies. Poor dad, you have a PhD, you go get a PhD degree. Rich dad, he didn't even finish high school. So understanding really financial literacy really gives you a different level of how the game of money works. So the the rich again don't focus on the income asset. They focus on the asset column. So that is super powerful, because how many times do you often just check your bank account to see how much money you have? And then at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you say to yourself, where did my money go? What happened to all my money? Well, that's because you don't understand how the rich people play the game. They don't focus on how much money they make. They focus on how much money they can invest. So whether you make $2,000, if you have an individual making $5,000 a month, and then the other one $5,000 a month, one focuses on how much money they have in the bank account, how much they're going to spend, while the other person is focusing on how much money I have and how much money of that I can invest. So that is the big difference of two different types of mindsets, which is why we have a very divided culture when it comes to money. So number 4 is just play safe, right? Just play safe. Don't diversify with too little money. Don't diversify with too little money, meaning that if you have $10,000 and you're looking to buy assets, you're looking to buy stocks. Well, Rich Dad taught Robert to not over diversify. So if you have $10,000 and you buy 10,000 stocks, that means that you only have one stock in every single one. So the rich focus on, okay, how do I diversify this $10,000, minimizing as much risk as possible, but still getting as much of the upside as possible. So understanding where your money is going to be put into, putting your eggs in a few baskets and not over diversifying too little money. Now, when you have a lot of money, okay, get it, perfect. Now you have the ability to diversify in other baskets. But when you have too little, not over diversifying it, because at the end of the day, you are not getting a lot in return, and then your money is just playing it safe. So that is the key takeaway number 4. Number 5 is educate in personal finance. I love this one because we are in a culture where if you have a lot of money, you are evil. This is the root of evil. A lot of individuals in today's world really just focus on what they don't have, and whoever does have it, that person is bad, right? So how many of you have heard the story of 50 Cent, of Mike Tyson, right? They had all the money in the world. They made a ton of money, but they just didn't possess the financial intelligence to be able to keep that money and invest the money. Now today, you have someone like Mayweather who made more than $500 million during his boxing career. And he bought assets. He bought buildings. He bought something that produced cash. He bought money making money. So when 50 Cent and Mike Tyson, for example, they bought the luxury yachts, the luxury lifestyles, whatever that looked like at that time, and now the money was gone. They had to file for bankruptcy. So money is a form of power, but financial literacy is even more powerful. They understand, they know how to leverage the money. They know how to leverage. So those are my 5 key takeaways from this book. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to read the book. Highly, highly recommend it. Why? Because for me personally, it may not work for you, but I truly believe that it can. But for me, it just gave me a breakthrough. It just gave me an ability to see things different on how the game of money is being played and how the rich get richer while the poor keeps getting poorer. So with that being said, if you haven't watched the first video, please go ahead and watch it. I explained to you the 4 ways of making money that I explained to you at the beginning of this video. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and like the video. Please go ahead and subscribe. You will allow us to get to more people, to get the message on how the financial literacy and just being someone with high values and understanding what self-development for you and everybody else around your circle is really the next way to go, and for you to build your money and change your family tree. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.